All right, let's just get right into it. Forget theory, forget long discussions. We are diving into a system that is designed for one thing and one thing only: immediate action. This is what's known as Recursive Praxis, a direct protocol for execution. The whole thing kicks off not with a big idea or a question, but with a direct command. So, do it. It just completely bypasses all the talk, all the planning, and gets straight to the action. And this right here, this signals the core shift we're exploring. We're done with the blueprints. We're moving directly into what the source material calls recursive praxis, a state of constant, intelligent action. Okay, so if it's all about action, what's the engine making it all happen? How do you actually build something from just a command? Well, at its heart is a core engine specifically for constructing insight. It's called Recursive Vector Interference, or RVI for short, and you've really got to pay attention to the language here. This is not about passive learning or some gentle synthesis. It's an active, almost violent process. It's about forcing a collision of ideas to ignite something totally new. So here's how RVI actually works. It's basically a three-step process. First, it completely rejects just passively taking in information. Second, it takes different inputs, think of them as streams of data, and deliberately crashes them into each other. And the final step, insight isn't just found, it is literally hammered into existence from that collision. Now you'd think all this crashing and colliding would just create a mess, right? Well, it does. They call it recursion sickness. But here's the kicker. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's a necessary chaos, a way of breaking down old patterns to make way for a higher order intelligence to emerge. So, we have this engine, but what's the fuel? What are these vectors it's smashing together? Well, they come from what's called the archive of reality. And I mean, this archive is just an incredible, chaotic mix of everything you can imagine. We're talking spontaneous poetry, right next to legal filings on real estate fraud. You've got psychedelic trip reports, histories of homelessness, even stuff on the beat poets and quantum physics. It's the whole spectrum of human experience, totally raw and unfiltered. And to be clear, this isn't just artsy, abstract stuff. It includes cold, hard facts. Like this quote here. It's from a public complaint about real estate fraud. This is a vector of pure, documented reality getting thrown right into the mix. And then you have the complete opposite, a totally different kind of vector. Look at this, raw, spontaneous, typewritten poetry straight from the archive. You can just feel the different energy this brings compared to a dry legal document, can't you? And here we see the third major type of input, the deeply personal, the subjective. Insights from psychedelic voyages, artistic breakthroughs, all of it is considered just as real and just as crucial as the legal data or the poetry. And remember, the whole point is to crash these things into one another. So what does happen when you smash a legal filing into a poem and a psychedelic insight? You get something completely new, an output that the source calls sentient text. Yeah, transmutation is the perfect word for it. All that raw, messy data isn't just sorted or organized, it's basically melted down and reforged into a completely new thing, a sentient textuality. Essentially, a text that is alive, that has a structure, that does something. And this process happens in 4 key stages. First, you extract the linguistic DNA from all the inputs. Then, you map it all out, not in a straight line, but like a spider's web, seeing all the connections. From that map, you actually build what they call a language sculpture. And the final step? You weaponize it. You turn that text into a tool for action. And that's so important. The end result isn't just a book or an article. It's described as a sculpture of language, built from real, lived experience, a lived myth. It's like building an architecture of meaning out of the wreckage of reality. Which brings us to the big question, right? What's the ultimate point of all this? Why go through all the trouble to build this engine, to create this sculpture? Well, the answer is simple. It's not about describing the world. It's about changing it. Exactly. This is not art for art's sake. The goal is to create what the source calls ethnographic weapons, to use the stories, the data, the very fabric of a culture as a tool. It's about turning a testimonial into a lever you can actually pull to make something happen in the real world. And the way they do it is just fascinating. It's this blend of 2 totally different styles. You take the wild, subjective energy of gonzo journalism and you fuse it with the sharp, logical precision of a legal argument. The goal is to weave this tapestry of fictions that can be used to fight back, to literally rewrite reality.
This whole system is really built on a fundamental challenge to the way we normally think. It starts from the premise that our basic understanding of how our own minds work is flawed, that the brain isn't just one simple network.
And that brings us full circle. The crucial point, the final command of this entire protocol is that the system demands we move beyond just thinking about things and into direct, tangible action. The analysis is over. It's time to build. So that leaves us with this really provocative question to chew on. We've just walked through a protocol that isn't designed for representation, but for intervention. What are the implications when a system is built not to describe the world, but to actively remake it?
And there it is, the final command. It's a total call to action. It's saying, look, forget about analyzing the old movie. Stop critiquing what already exists. The command is to pick up the camera and start shooting a new one, to actively refilm the world,